right. I guess let's just get right into the meat and potatoes. Um, so can you start by introducing yourself and telling us how you got into creating content for VR chat?
So basically I had started it before like proximity had, but um of course it wasn't that popular at the time. So it didn't get that much attention. So I gave up on it for a while and saw that proximity chat had gotten like insanely popular off of it. And I hadn't realized how degen the game had really gotten until I started watching that. And so, I started it back up again. And then once I did, much at first, but I was consistent with it. And then it started getting more traction. And then after I posted one TikTok about I blared this one fur's eardrums, and people like legitimately thought it was a dog whistle because I put a dog whistle as the caption. People had a whole argument in the comments. Yeah, after that my YouTube channel started getting way more traction, and I started a video called backdooring DID/OSDD fakers in VRChat. And I really didn't expect that to go far, especially because I'm not a trained professional myself when it comes to disorders. But
Mhm.
people got on that pretty quick. And right after that, the welcome home community in VRChat instantly feared me. Instantly.
Oh wow.
So I come back to the welcome home community, and same person I made a video on is lashing out at me. So of course I just like trolled them, and they were like, take the video down, instead of explaining their side of the story. So I continued to assume they were faking, and that one got attraction as well. After that video, I was like, okay, where do I go from here? Because I don't really know what I want to do. And I made a documentary, because one of the people that I caught in that backdooring DID/OSDD fakers, I actually walked into one of the situations that I would later make a video about. And so he told me everything, gave me screenshots, and we interviewed Sweet Apple. That person was not right in the head. We just heard my brother in the next room. But yeah. So yeah, and then not too long ago, I made a video on a chat groomer, which had actually been caught before by Kansaki, not as much as I got.
So how did you decide on your specific style of creating content? Like did it evolve naturally or did you always do this?
I didn't always do chat content. Actually, I had a channel before this one, but it never went that far. I won't link it though because it showed my face and everything. And
Mm.
I naturally evolved my editing style. I would rewatch my videos like hundreds of thousands of times. Hundreds and thousands, but like I'd rewatch my video and I'd say, "Oh, I can do this better and this better." And I would just naturally evolve my style of editing, so yes.
So how do you balance between the line of being entertainment and being harmful, I suppose?
Harmful, yeah. So the way I see it, the people I were trolling were telling me I was being harmful and stuff like that, which I don't think I'm being harmful. It's public information. It's just like a social media platform when it comes to VR chat,
Hmm.
because it is what it is. So if you're getting hundreds of friend requests after, I mean, I don't really know if it should be my problem, which I did sort of feel bad, but I started putting disclaimers at the beginning of my videos. What I've seen is proximity chat started like minimalizing the nameplates so people don't go and harass them, which if you're as big enough as he is, I think it is necessary. But
Hmm.
yeah, the line between harassment and trolling, I'm not too onto that, but I think there is a line, because if you're going and like pursuing that person purposely, that's where you're kind of crossing a line there.
So, is there any moment in a situation in your videos where something played out perfectly without you even having to say a word, or maybe a few words, but not, the person you were trolling, maybe they basically laid it all out for you?
I think I have actually had moments like that. My it was actually one of my old videos. VRChat PDF artist gets questioned. And so they
Mm,
basically laid out that they drew poly explicit images. And obviously that is very weird behavior if you're being commissioned that and then continue to draw that. So yeah, if you're condoning that those commissions, then it is I think it's predatory behavior.
I agree. So, what's your creative process like when it comes to editing and choosing which clips to include in your videos?
So when it comes to choosing out clips, I usually record like whenever I get on VRChat, I'll start recording and I'll have like hours of footages. And if I know that I've gotten really good clips, I'll usually be like, oh, I'm gonna put that in. And when I start editing, I'll drag them into DaVinci Resolve and I'll start what's it called? Start cutting it. That's what it is.
So, do you ever plan any like trolling ideas ahead, or do you just go on the spot, start saying things? What do you do?
Yeah, it's sort of freestyle. In fact, the
Hmm.
backdooring the ID slash OSDD fakers wasn't even planned. There actually I don't think any of my videos were planned except for um the groomer one. My friends happened to run into that person and asked me to join. So that was one that was sort of planned. The forbidden fruit of VRChat fandoms, that one was slightly planned, like the meeting with Sweet Apple. And other than that, yeah, it was mostly freestyle.
Because I know there's some trollers out there who like to plan ideas, like Komsaki, for example. He recently uploaded a video where he had like two girlfriends,
Oh
and they
yeah.
just went around, yeah, getting people kicked.
There's also Meso Mayo who will take viewers' ideas and they'll be like, you should do this, and it'll be like, oh yeah, I'll do that. And then he does it. Which I might actually consider
Mhm.
doing because it seems pretty funny.
Honestly, I think that's one of the best ways to do it. You wouldn't
Yeah,
really run out of content
you
anytime
wouldn't.
soon.
Yeah.
So, what kind of feedback do you get from your audience, and how does that influence what you create?
Wait, say that one more time.
So, what kind of feedback do you get from your audience, and what does that do for you? What do you do with it?
So feedback mostly positive, which was really surprising to me with the trolling content I make, because it could seem aggressive to most, but really what I do, I'll just really ask questions. Um, but other than that, there's few negative feedback, but not much. Like the most I've
So,
gotten is do research on DID and OSDD, which I think's pretty fair. I did mostly come from common sense when it comes to that kind of stuff. Other than that, yeah, mostly positive feedback. Even people with DID and OSDD or any disorder were coming to my video. They were like applauding me for what I did. I don't
do
take
you get any comments from the people you troll?
any comments from the. Did you say that one more time?
I apologize for interrupting
No,
you.
no, no, it's
Do
fine.
you get any comments from the people you troll?
Comments from the people I troll. I have. I have. One main one was Puppeteer. And they commented, they were like, people are harassing me and telling me to do bad things to myself. I was like, oof, yikes. That's where I started doing disclaimers. But yeah. I've gotten one from Puppeteer, and that's the main one I've gotten from people I've trolled. Actually, no, there was one in the recent video. They were like, "Oh, that's my son," and now that I look back at this, it's actually kind of funny.
Hmm. They like someone's actual son?
Oh, VRChat son. I made fun of
Yeah,
them
that's kind
saying,
of what I expected.
yeah, I made fun of them. I was like, "Oh, can I be your son?" I started calling them mommy and stuff. They got really disturbed.
So, what are your thoughts on VR chat families?
VR chat families? Uh,
Yes.
I think they're really weird. And most of the outcomes I've heard when it comes to VR chat families is not positive whatsoever. Like I've heard where this one guy told me that his VR chat girlfriend or wife, I guess I don't know, broke up with him just to get with their VR chat son that was underage.
Oof.
Yeah. So
So how do you
that's
feel about
that one.
oh, I'm sorry.
No, it's fine.
So how do you feel about P, erotic roleplay?
I think it's weird. I think erotic roleplay is weird. Like straight up.
What about age regression or daycare worlds, as some people call those things?
When it comes to age regression, most people will automatically assume predatory behavior. And I've done studies, a little bit of study into it, and I've talked with the community. And apparently it is a therapeutic response to trauma. And while I still think it's weird, I'm still working with them to pick out the bad apples of that community. And I've actually had a situation where one of the age regressors have told me that one of the people in those worlds that are like well known, and his name is Eeyore. He said really like explicit and suggestive things to a minor in the server, started like touching them and stuff while quote unquote littles were in the room. And yeah, so there are bad apples in that community. Most of them are pretty tame for the most part. Other than that,
So with VRChat's mix of different people, what's your approach to those with phantom touch?
phantom touch, I've heard it's most common with people that are amputees, but people are not amputees. It's extremely rare. People don't even believe it's possible if you're not an amputee. So I'm very lenient on the idea that you can't have phantom sense unless you are an amputee.
So how do you navigate the presence of both minors and adults in VRChat? What do you think the age restrictions should be for VRChat?
Age restriction for VR chat. I've actually had this chat once,
Yes.
and it was before I became a YouTuber. This guy who said he was working with staff in VR chat, was like, oh, they were supposed to change it to the age of 16 and up. Never did. And it's continued to stay 13 and up. And I really dislike Tupper. I really don't like what Tupper does in his past. So I really do disagree with him, and it's most of the reason why I do the stuff I do on VRChat. So yeah, what I gotta say when it comes to age restriction on VRChat is screw Tupper, his team. Not only that, what was I gonna say next? Person had commented that they really should like set the. They've made for VRChat avatars already, but don't enable them by default if you put in your age as like 13 or minor age. So that's why I still find VRChat team really weird. I will continue to roll until this platform is like dead and gone.
So maybe give some not insight, but a bit of context. Who is Tupper?
Tupper, the most of what I've heard about him is that he's the image of VRChat. I think he is the owner. Done much research on that. The thing I have heard and seen about him is that he will go and oh shoot, that's really bad. My mom started pulling out the vacuum cleaner.
Fine, I can barely hear it.
Okay, but Tupper has gone into, I don't know if it was a public lobby. He's been in VRChat. I think his main avatar is a lolly, and he's been in a avatar that represents a lolly, has explicit stuff on it. Is a very strange choice for someone who represents the VR chat, the game in itself. People have still
Yeah,
tried
wow.
standing up for him when it comes to that, and I still think it's weird.
So have you ever run into like any issues with people like taking your trolling the wrong way and they react in such a way that you're like, I cannot put this on YouTube?
People reacting to my content in a bad way.
Kind of like the people you troll, you know, have they ever reacted in a really bad way?
Um, yeah, the thing is, like, that backdooring DID and slash OSDD faker video blew up without
Mhm.
like me even knowing it would blow up. And I happened to run into Puppeteer again, which they instantly claimed I was harassing them. I ran into them coincidentally, and they started lashing out on me. I already explained that, but yeah, they reacted to it in a bad way because they had a bad experience. Most of what my content is I look at it as people reflecting on their actions, what they should do instead
So
of. Go ahead.
no, keep talking. I was about to move on.
Oh, yeah, and what like how they should react instead of instantly like assuming someone's like, unfitting to talk to them or whatever. A lot of people in VR chat have an ego, which I'm not saying YouTubers don't have an ego, because you gotta kind of put that on when you're trolling. I don't have an ego all the time. It's only when I'm trolling. It's usually how I'll it's the only reason I don't laugh as much. I'm trolling. It's a little personality I put on.
So, I guess this is a bit of a disclaimer for you. I'm going to enter a category that I titled "Our Trolling Drama." Do you want me to question you about that, or do you want to move on?
Wait, say that one more time.
I have a category of questions called VRChat Trolling Drama, drama within the VRChat trolling community. Do you want to talk about that or move on?
So really, all I gotta say is about the VRChat trolling drama, which I have seen it. I think everyone knows it's dumb because we're all, and how I see it is we're all trollers. I don't, I don't see why we're having any drama at all because we all do the same thing. There's no one better than the other, other. There's no one like greater than each other. Like, yeah, they might have more of a fan base, more subscribers. That doesn't mean like even exposing videos. I get that, but come at somebody just because of your fan base, stuff like that. I think it's dumb. This is
Mm.
again, we're all at the same thing here, so nobody's better than the other.
So, virtual bars are super popular in the VR chat space. What do you think makes them a really good place for trolling content?
VR chat bars, mostly because people who spend their time in a VR chat bar, they really don't have anything else better to do. That's why if you go there, they will get defensive about it. So that's why it's so easy to go and make those people mad and upset.
So, how do you feel about players who choose to stay muted? Actually, those who maybe have like a female avatar but might not be female.
Yeah, so people will go as like claim their mutes and wear female avatars are most likely a man. They are a man, they just don't want to accept it. And the reason they claim they're mutes is to not get humiliated as much because the idea of mutes have become accepted for the most part. So really people in VR chat, when it comes to stuff like that, they're scared of not being upset. Upset. I can't speak anymore, my bad. Accepted. So that's why, and in fact, that's why a lot of people come to VR chat, because either they're scared of being not accepted in real life, or they just like they want to be accepted in virtual reality is basically what it is. Yeah,
Mm.
people with mutes and female avatars, they're most likely a man who doesn't want to accept the fact that they're men. And it's either that or they'll be a predator in hiding.
So, what do you think is the line? Not just for VR chat like trollers, but VRChat players in general. What is the line between just having fun or just really unacceptable behavior in the game, like racism, homophobia, sexism, all of that? What do you feel about all that?
So when it comes to racism, sexism, all stuff like that, um, that's it has become the norm for VR chat, which is like sad, but it's also because like VR chat is a platform that's not really taken seriously anymore because of people like proximity chat. So that's why people will
Mm.
go and do stuff like that.
So, how do you feel about using VRChat for creative content beyond trolling? Maybe like hosting events or going to other worlds just to hang out.
uh, I think that's totally fine. If you're doing it way more than like most people do, it's kind of concerning. But I think it's fine if you do it every now and then. But I don't personally do it. I think I used to. Actually, I don't. I don't. Hey, what am I? Okay, my brain stopped working for a moment. You gotta excuse me. I woke up like not too long ago. But yeah, VR chat events. I mean, I guess I guess they're okay. I don't really have an opinion on them.
So, where do you see your content going in the future? Any new ideas or projects you might be working on?
Um, I might like I might start reaction content or other gaming content. Right now it is just VR chat content, but I might switch it up a little in the future because it doesn't hurt to try that. But yeah, I might do different content in the future.
So, how has being a content creator for VRChat changed your personal life? Has it affected your relationships or maybe how you view anything online?
Wait, say that one more time.
So, how has being a content creator for VRChat changed your personal life? Has it affected your relationships, maybe? How you view communities online?
Oh no, I don't let any of that get to me. My relationships are still fine. My friendships are still thriving. And though I don't do as much as I'd done before, I've kept my relationships healthy. And yeah, I've kept everything in line. So no, being a content creator for VR chat or just a content creator in general hasn't changed anything.
Do you ever get recognized in VRChat by fans?
I have in fact gotten recognized in VR chat by fans, which is really new to me because I didn't expect to get as big as I did. And when people go and recognize me or say, "Hey, you sound familiar," I'm like, do I? But I love my fans. I'll usually add them and hang out with them.
So I guess this kind of leads up to the next question. Do you ever get misrecognized? Is anyone like, oh, is this Meso Mayo?
So it's really bad because of the fact I mostly people will mistake me for proximity chat, and usually I think they're trolling at first, but people legitimately they will recognize me as proximity chat sometimes, and I'll be like, close but not quite.
So what advice would you give to someone who wants to start creating content in VRChat, particularly in the trolling niche?
I say yeah, you could try it out. Um, when it comes to VR chat trolling or trolling in general, you really have to brave up and like you can't be like you can't be too genuine when it comes to VR chat trolling. Maybe a little or just trolling in general. Like you can't show your true self either like because then they're gonna be like, oh well no, you could. I'm kind of mixed on that because I'll be honest, but I kind of mix it in there. It's kind of a mix for me because I'll just do my own
Hmm.
thing. So I don't really have a preferred reference when it comes to VR chat trolling other than proximity chat. Because even though he's gotten into drama himself, I still love the guy. His content's hilarious.
So, what's one thing you wish people knew about the VRChat trolling niche or community or anything like that? What's something they always seem to like misunderstand about you guys?
Main thing is that it's all a joke. It's all for um it's all for giggles. So it isn't to be taken seriously. So if you're taking VRChat trolling lightly, it's yeah, you're kind of not enjoying the content at that point. So it really does come to a certain view when it comes to VRChat trolling.
So I'd like to thank you for taking the time to chat with me today. The one last question of the day here, is there anything else you would like to share to your audience before we wrap up?
Stay safe and strap in for more lore. Also, kids, don't do drugs. Bullets may fly